technical difficulties. We're back here on WMUA YouTube. Bowling Green lead 28-7 with 1:40 on the clock. UMass might just get the ball back before the half, and reminder that they get the ball back in the second half. Again, 1:49 on the clock. Bowling Green about to punt. We are back here on YouTube. Make sure to stay tuned in. WMUA. I'm here with Miles Donato. A lot has changed since we last had connection. Not really. A lot has changed since we last changed the graphic. It is 28-7. Bowling Green lead against UMass in the second quarter. A minute 49 left. Miles. Game ready to be played.
This is a chance for UMass to bring this back to within a two-touch game.
The punt is up, and it will likely travel into the end zone. The punt team's back. It's a bounce into the end zone, so it'll be a touchback. And UMass with a chance now to go down the field and make it a two-score game.
This is going to be the game-determining drive. If UMass can go and score, they have an opportunity if they have a strong second half. If they can't, 3 touchdowns, a lot for this UMass team who averages 10.8 points per game. So you say 14 points and a half, maybe doable. 21, that is a lot tougher.
A reminder, UMass will start with the ball in the second half. A minute 28-7, Bowling Green lead UMass. Grant Jordan take the snap, and he does. Loads of time, going to fire to the outside. Jaquan Gibson gets the ball around the 32-yard line, bounces out of bounds, and a first down for the Minutemen.
Those comeback routes have been working all day for the Minutemen. Jaquan Gibson on JoJo Johnson playing heavy off coverage. 10 yards, 12 yards off coverage on the receiver. And sometimes they're doing that on both sides.
Jordan now ready to take the snap, and he does. Again, lot of time. Pressure not getting to him. He's going to take off, fire over the middle. Broken by the aforementioned Johnson looking for Donnie Gray. A minute 30 left, second down and 10, U32.
Second time Johnson has got his hand in on a pass from an in-breaking route from the out in a similar area on the field as the last one. That one to McConaughey last time that he got his hand there.
There's an injured Falcon out on the floor, so break. I know you haven't heard a lot from us lately, but you'll hear a lot more in the second half. This is WMUA Sports YouTube for UMass football. UMass 7, Bowling Green 28. Back out on the field now, second down and 10 after the injury. I'm Dylan Schallenberg with Miles Donato. Second quarter of UMass ball down 28-7 to Bowling. Jordan firing downfield, looking for Gibson. Back shoulder caught. Gibson down to the 20-yard line. What a pitch and catch by Jordan and Gibson. And the Minutemen march down to the red zone.
Gibson, the speed on the outside. Last second, he turns his head to the ball and finds it, brings it in over his right shoulder, and gets it up over Kenyon Washington, the redshirt freshman corner for Bowling Green.
A minute 18 left on the first half. 2 timeouts for the Minutemen. Jordan takes a snap. With time now, goes through the middle. Dropped by Fuller on the zipped pass in the middle. Could have taken a little bit off that.
Yeah, he really wanted to make that Faulkner gets it or no one gets it, and he put some power behind that. Faulkner coming across the middle of the field He's a running back, doesn't catch balls in that fashion that often. And so Faulkner drops that one. 2nd and 10 for the Minutemen.
Second down and 1:10 left in the half. UMass down by 21 points. Jordan takes the snap. Faulkner fires out. Trying to find Gibson on the fade. Incomplete. And it's going to be a 3rd down and 10.
MJ Cannon in on coverage against Gibson. Pressed him off the line. And Gibson, who's trying to run that out route, or rather not the fade, just couldn't get to where Jordan threw the ball.
3rd down and 10. You would think they would kick a field goal just to keep it at least at bay going into the second half. If they don't complete this and go for the first down. Jordan, he's going to take off himself. He's going to scramble. Jordan gets to the 10, powering forward, and a 1st down.
Kal-El Pascal had Jordan dead to rights. Jordan, quick stutter step, cuts it to the left, gets that 1st down, and a huge 1st down that is for Grant Jordan.
So the clock continues. UMass will now elect to huddle up, not take a timeout. 1st down and goal from the 7-yard line. Grant Jordan powering himself. Donnie Gray on the close side. Max Dowling in the slot. He's going to motion in. Jordan's going to power through himself on the ring. Jordan brought down around the 3-yard line, and now UMass will take their 2nd time out of the half.
Peyton Miller, the center, rolling out to the right. Grant Jordan puts his hand on his back and just followed him all the way to the 2-yard line, eventually caught from behind. But those are the type of plays that Bowling Green have been running, getting their interior offensive linemen in motion in the blocking game, and it helped there, opening up Jordan to get to the 2-yard line.
Well, UMass had a lot of difficulties with their quarterbacks this season. Aiden never really finding his feet in the pocket. He was thought to be going into the year the best pocket passer on the team, and while that might still ring true, it just did not work out for him at any point this year outside of the Buffalo game where he kept them competitive. Grant Jordan has given them a chance to win running the football at some points this season, but his arm has often been not that. That throw to Gibson on this drive, very different than what we've seen from Jordan. He's going to fire into the end zone, touchdown, Dowling. The rollout concept that comes forward, and there go fireworks. They stopped on the first one. Dowling with the touchdown. UMass are back again.
It's that same play. They ran the same play, but this time it was a play action, and they found Dowling, who was blocking last time. This time rolls out to the right and catches that pass to bring this game within 2 scores.
UMass will get the ball at the close of this first half into the half. And assuming Derek Morris's PAT goes, we're going to be looking at a 2-score game, Miles, something that just mere minutes ago before the stream went down seemed to be not likely or not possible.
Yeah, it's just a chance, but it's a chance. And there have been many games where UMass have not had a chance at this point. And so UMass fans here in the final game of the season willing their team on to push for this, but they have 29 seconds, and there have been a calamity of errors throughout this season. Giving up a touchdown would not off character 9 seconds remaining in the half.
Well, in these last few Maction games, UMass have had touchdowns scored by Magnus Von Saldern, Owen Anderson, and now Reese Atkins and Max Dowling. So 4 tight ends have scored touchdowns in the Minutemen team, not to even mention the Dowling touchdown that was scored against Buffalo on the long, broken tackle, winded play that A.J. Hairston was able to pull off for the Minutemen, as well as Dowling himself. So Atkins and Dowling being the recipients of the 2 touchdown passes, and we're looking at 28-14 here at McGurk Alumni Stadium. UMass in a quest to win their first game of the season.
You just kick this one into the end zone.
Yeah.
Morris.
Yeah. Well, you're not Morris. It's a different. And he is going to follow suit and fire that ball into the end zone. Bounces short, goes in. The Bowling Green will have to decide whether they're very committed to trying to go down the field and some points on them. Have all 3 timeouts. For anyone interested, that place kicker was Marcus Lai. He's been the place kicker for some parts of the season.
Seems like they're just going to elect take a knee and end the half here. And that will do it for the first half here in Merck.
UMass, in the last 10 minutes of this second quarter, 2 touchdowns to 2 different tight ends, try to bring this game back. UMass have a lot of ground to cover still, but they've put themselves in position to compete. I'm here with Miles Donato on WMUA YouTube. We will have the rest of the action here following halftime. UMass 14, Bowling Green 28, end of the half. We're a few minutes away, or a few seconds away, rather, from the start of the second half. UMass went on 2 touchdown drives at the end of the first half. In the second quarter, Reese Adkins and Max Dowling being the 2 players that got on the board for the Minutemen. And the score now being 28-14, Bowling Green lead after their electric start to the game. A lot of that coming through the run game. Their guy, Austin Dendy, the Missouri transfer, with 2 touchdowns, and then the long screen pass touchdown for Ridley would put them up 14-0 at that point. Dendy scored the next touchdown, and then after that it was Porter. Or no, rather it was the flip pass to the tight end, the 28-0 lead. And then after that, UMass got 2 back. That tight end was Blaine Cleaver. But we're back, and I'm going to hand it off to my co-host, Miles Donato. He's going to take over for play-by-play for this third quarter. Miles, have some fun.
Zach Long to kick deep to start this second half. Jaquan Gibson is the deepest man for the Minutemen. And here is the start of the second half. Switch to the other side of the field. Fair caught by UMass at the 19-yard line.
Elijah Fair catches it. Interesting decision to Fair. What on the sideline, Miles? That was 2 players batting their heads against each other on the sideline in a very psychotic manner. But I'll let you continue.
So Grant Jordan had a beautiful throw in the first half to Jaquan Gibson. He's out here at the 9-yard line. They called it the 25. Has Faulkner switching sides to left. Snap, hold it himself, shot to the outside. Jacob Gibson, he's tackled but gets 5 yards.
Tripped up there. Great tackle there on the outside by Josira Andrews. The freshman was able to dive in and make a tackle. A gain of 6.
Bunch formation to the left. Atkins is the closest to the offensive line. And Faulkner behind in the shotgun. Fakes the handoff, or rather does hand off. And Faulkner, after a few dukes, just short of the first down, bringing up 3rd and 2 for the Minutemen.
You know, I feel incredibly justified now because you just fell for a normal handoff. That's something that I do sometimes, and I feel really weird about it. I've never heard anyone else actually do it. It was just a handoff.
He exaggerated the handoff,
Yeah.
so
No, it looked like a play fake. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It looks like a play fake sometimes.
Here, 3rd down. Jordan, Faulkner still the back.
Watch the blitz.
Handed off, kept, and this time blow up Jordan behind the line of scrimmage. And that will bring down 4th down, and UMass forced to punt on a crucial drive and bring them back into this game.
Cal El Pascal, the one who was coming downhill for the Falcons, and he was able to break the blitz and read the fake handoff. One was an actual fake handoff. Jordan couldn't get to the outside quick enough. Let's see how Keegan Andrews can flip the field here.
That 2 very good punts earlier in the first quarter. The first one, a 58-yarder over the head. This one, he gets away, and it's beautiful again, all the way down to the 15, scrambling back, but to the outside goes Eric George, or it's probably Brendan Riley, who scored the touchdown earlier in this game. He tackled at the 25 after being forced to drop 5 yards back to make that catch.
And the tackle there was by the long snapper Giovanni Borbin. Borbin, a graduate transfer student, came in. He's been a good long snapper for the team to this point. But that time he fired downfield and was able to make a really good tackle. As there's a 2-minute, 4-second break. You want to keep it here?
Now we'll send for the moment. We'll be back shortly here on WMUA 91.1 YouTube. Welcome back to McGurk Alumni Stadium, and it is raining here in Amherst. It is 12:55 remaining in the third quarter, 28-14 the score in favor of Bowling. Bowling Green have the ball and are hoping to get back to a touchdown lead. Hunt in at quarterback, and of course, Austin Dindy, the running back, already 2 touchdowns on the game. Our player to look out for before the game, and he has lived up to those expectations.
And Najim, while he really completed any passes downfield, still 5 for 7, 117 yards with 3 passing touchdowns to this point. So the stat line is there for him.
Heavy left formation, motion to bring in another tight end, handoff, cuts to the inside, still moving, and he'll get about 7 on that one. Austin Dendy continues his night.
And Dendy's patience there was what got him that extra yardage, because he could have rammed like the jackhammer he is in forward, got about 6 yards. His patience and his ability to find that first gap, something that isn't talked about enough game, and he was able to get a couple of yards out of it.
And heavy left are the linemen for Bowling Green. Another handoff to Dendy. He cuts this one to the outside to the right and is tackled for just a short gain.
He picks up the first down, though, and that's what he was going for. He dives his head forward towards the marker and gets the first. And Bowling Green are happy to play like this. They'd love to take as much clock down as they'd like, because as much as they probably would not like to admit it, touchdowns in the second quarter has them a little bit shook. They're not cruising in the same way that they were at the start of the game.
I mean, they were up 28-0 at one point, cutting that lead in half with a Minutemen. Another handoff to Dendy. This time, just gets 2 yards.
A great hit there by Zeron Daniel, diving in low, but not towards the head that Dendy was going down with. Daniel able to square his shoulders and make a big hit, keep the gain to only 3. Because if Daniel's not there, then forward and fall a couple extra yards and maybe get the first down.
I mean, he's had a couple of those big plays for the minute, those tackles, when he's basically the last man back. Handoff this time to Mikel Porter, and UMass doing a good job limiting the run game of Bowling Green, and this is what they need to do to force Bowling Green to pass the ball here on 3rd and 6.
And what you can't allow now is a screen pass or a quick out, something that Najee can feel very good to make.
I mean, that's what they've scored on. So you have to have that in the back of your mind. If you're one of the D linemen, you are getting through way too easily. You got to be aware that it could be a screen pass.
3rd and 5.
Najee snap, looking left, throws it quick. It is a screen pass, and it's taken to the outside before being tackled, but down gain by Jiron Johnson, grad student tight end.
And that one's up, Coach Joe Harris-Semiak. You are ultra aware that this quarterback is not comfortable throwing the ball downfield in capacity, and you don't play someone in press coverage on a tight end who's their top receiver all season. I understand that you don't usually like to play guys pressed up against tight ends, because that's just not what happens. But Jiron Johnson is a receiver. By the definition, he does not block in line often. He is very much more of a receiving threat than he is as a blocker. So they needed to have someone manned up on him there.
Leo Kemp, the fullback, switching sides, handoff, tackled immediately, aggressively by Kendall Bourne, getting up involved in the rush.
And the safeties have fired down pretty well in this drive, even though Bowling Green have been able to move pretty seamlessly. Bourne, Daniel have made some good, and they're going to need to continue to do that if they want this drive to stop.
That's what they need to do. Their first steps as the safeties need to be downfield, because you have to trust in the fact that they won't be able to make the deep throws against you, and you'll be able to recover. Najim takes a snap. It's low, gets it off to Dendy. Dendy gets around 4 yards.
It's going to bring up another close 3rd down where you're in between passing running range. And they're going to say the 3rd down 5. Green pass worked last time. I would be surprised if they didn't key up on it, UMass being the they. And
Dendy went off, comes on in replacement for Petaway. So he is lined up back behind his quarterback. And they will give it to him. And he gap, but he's going to be short. Important tackle made.
Brings up 4th and short now, where you would have to assume Bowling Green are going to stay out on the field because they're in no man's land, and they feel very well in their rushing attack. This would be a huge momentum stop for UMass if they're able to get the play.
And they're going to send out a kicking unit.
Interesting decision there by Ed George.
2 yards to gain. Your opponent's 42.
I'd be very aware of a fake here, and I think UMass are.
Long snap back punter, and it will not be a fake. It's punted away, and that's going to drop just outside the 5 and stop there and roll a little bit more to the 4-yard line. Nice punt there for Bowling Green.
Yeah, it's a nice punt there to stop UMass's momentum that little bit, because if you get the stop and you get the ball around the 20, you get the ball in a different place and you're looking forward to doing your drive. Now you get out of your own zone. So that'll be a test for UMass going into this next drive. A good defensive stop.
We will take a break here. 2 minutes 30 on the clock till we are back. Welcome back here. It is raining a lot more now. I wonder how that will affect the game here at McGurk Stadium. UMass versus Bowling Green. UMass with the ball, trying to take it out of their own zone.
And I wonder how much the decision to punt, because you saw a low snap from Bowling Green that was successfully handed off. But when you're in the rain with an offense that is very run dependent, but also a quarterback that's very unseasoned, you never know what's going to happen from snap to snap. So that might have been a part of the decision for Bowling Green to punt and just force the field position game in a game that you feel like you're losing control in a little bit.
So here come the Minutemen. Back onto the 5th. Falcon is the back. Atkins and Dowling both in for the Minutemen. Line up to the right of the right tackle. And Sully Weidman. They switch to the other side. So heavy left, down goes the other way. So they split up the tight ends, hand off to Faulkner. Can he get past the edge? He does get back to the line of scrimmage, but he's knocked off aggressively.
Faulkner took that ball with a full head of speed, and he almost went into his own end zone. A good stiff arm kept out of there, and he was able to dive forward for no gain. But considering where they started, it's a successful carry for Faulkner.
And they actually lost a yard. So now they're on the 3-yard line and trying to get out of this danger zone. Jordan waiting on the snap.
The blitz from the middle linebacker.
Time. He'll throw it deep, looking for his man, and that's overthrown by a good 6 yards.
He had to get that out as quick as he can, though, because the blitz was too heavy. I don't mind Jordan trying to take the top off there considering what was going on, but you like to see something drawn up where you can find something quickly on a 2nd 11. You don't like that shot.
Because now you're forced
To take it out.
Deep in your zone with the aggressive offensive line of Bowling Green, who realize that they can just go for it full speed. They don't have to contain as much. And so it's a risk of D because you don't have that much time to throw the ball here. Still waiting. Has his running back to his left. Takes the snap a little bit low. Steps back, throws over the head, and caught by getting first down.
What a throw and catch there by Jordan and Gibson, who are connecting at a level that we hadn't seen them connect this entire year. Gibson, contested catch, able to get his foot down, but Jordan put that in a place where only Gibson was able to grab it.
That is a huge play for Grant Jordan. Gibson up to 106 yards, 8 receptions on the night. Takes another snap. Again, a little bit low. Quick out to Gibson. He drops that one, and it was almost intercepted on the fumble.
They're ruling an interception and then a fumble. I would assume that they're just going to call it incomplete because it was. Yeah.
So those quick out they've been running, or quick comebacks they've been running all day to Gibson. The rain may be having its effect here as Gibson drops that one. A little bit of a low throw by Jordan, but Gibson drops that one and then goes to the hands of a Bowling Green player. Didn't have full control.
Now this is going to be reviewed. I'm curious to see what they're challenging, and we'll see what the referees see on the screen above us. But I have a hard time believing that this was a catch and fumble. From the Bowling Green perspective, I don't think they were able to haul in the interception on time. And if it did, no one knows who recovered it. But if Bowling Green is challenging, you'd assume they did.
Let's see what the ruling on the field will be. It is an incomplete pass on the field. That's what they have determined. But the review now.
So see, Jordan's pass definitely dropped and handled. That is close. I don't know if he made 3 football steps because he was turning, and I don't know what the rule is turning. Gibson didn't catch it. It is caught, but for how long did have? I don't think he ever had full possession there. They're going to have a tough time overturning that.
It does matter if Gibson punched that ball out when. So the call is upheld, incomplete pass. So no interception, no fumble after possible interception. And so it will just become a 2nd down and 10 for UMass.
A roundabout way of an incomplete pass, but that was a hard one to overturn. Like, even if it was the correct call for it to be an interception, overturning it from the ruling on the field would have been difficult.
Handoff to Price. Flag on the play immediately.
You have to assume that's going to be a defensive hold or defensive shift some point because Bowling Green were able to get out to that zone incredibly quickly.
You've been up.
Yeah.
What I was about to say, may have been offsides against the defense, and that's what it was. So a penalty against Bowling Green gives UMass an opportunity here to maybe throw the ball here on 2nd and 4. Jaquan Gibson is the close receiver to us in the press box. As defender 10 yards off coverage, Jordan will just hand it off to Price.
I believe that was Brandon Hood.
Hood rather, yes. And he gets up just short of the first down. 1 yard, go.
Why not go for a tush? I'd like to see them do what they did earlier and try to just attack that center of the field. It's been tough sailing for the defensive front of this Bowling Green team. You look at guys like Evan Branch Harris and De'Ara Kelly, who done too much.
Another handoff, gets the first down, just about, and Hood put to the ground, but just about gets the first.
Yeah, Hood was able to dive forward for it, and I've always found it incredibly impressive for players to know their hash marks and know the spot that they got to dive down to, because Hood wasn't trying to get any more than the first down. He knew where he needed to go.
Jordan makes a snap, quick to the outside, finds his man, and tackled out of bounds.
The Northwest for Donnie Gray with his first catch of the game, and on a senior night where he's been the de facto wide receiver 2 in the absence of Jaquan Gibson and the absence of Kezion Dia-Johnson and T.Y. Harding. He's been one of the guys that's been asked to step in, and while he hasn't done a lot, his contribution has been noticed to this team.
2 times to the left, Dowling goes to the right. He sets himself, pitch outside to Hood. He'll cut it back inside, break a tackle, but couldn't find it back to the line of scrimmage.
That play was blown up from the start, and it's good on Hood to be able to escape that swarm of defenders and just dive forward for a gain of a few yards.
So 3rd and manageable for UMass. They converted last on 3rd down with that to Jaquan Gibson. Gibson is in the slot on the left side with the Gray, who is outside.
That's where you want Gibson, but you also have to be aware, if you're Grant Jordan, of whether or not they're going to spy you, because he's been able to get plays with his legs.
Bowling Green looking like they're sending extra pressure. They send 5. Jordan, quick pass over the middle to Adkins, and he's tackled down to the ground, short of the first down.
It was Jax Markovich who made the catch, but he was rallied up by a lot of Bowling Green defenders. Probably got a yard. I wouldn't be surprised if they go for it here, though.
Down 14, 3 minutes, 27 remaining in the 3rd period. Time is rolling down. They're going to make the decision to keep the offense out. Grant Jordan to convert here on 4th down. Has 3 receivers in a bunch formation on his left.
Faulkner in motion.
Faulkner to the outside. Takes the snap. Outside, cutting back inside. He'll take it himself. He's tripped up, but throws it up to Dowling. And converts the first down while diving to the ground.
Grant Jordan, are you kidding me? Not to pull out my Eric Christmasworth, but that looked a little bit Mahomey to me. Falling down to the ground, pitches it forward while going down, and able to get the first, but they're going to see if he was down. That's the question. Was his knee or elbow down before he released the ball? That question for the green on top of us. But unbelievable determination by Grant Jordan to try to fall forward. We'll see whether or not the knee was down, though.
We've talked about his improvisational skills, and he has shown them in spades today.
So they lost on a challenge earlier. Let's see. The knee is still... Oh, he's down. He's down. That's not going to stand. That's going to be Bowling Green football.
With good field position as
With
well.
very good field possession.
And that's one where Grant Jordan, he decides he's going to take it himself. And he feels that contact. So he looks up as he's feeling that contact, and he sees Dowling right in front of him wide open. But it's kind of something where you need to be looking before.
Yeah. The first read shouldn't be to scramble. And looks like...
After review, the ball carrier's knee was down. The ball's at the 33-yard line.
Ball carrier's knee was down, short of the first down. So a turnover on downs on another important drive for the Minutemen, and they give Bowling Green great field position. They're at the 33 of the opposing team.
And especially with the kicker that they have in Jackson Cleather, it's nowhere near a given that UMass are going to be able to make a stop and keep this game at 2 scores. We'll see what they're able to do. But 2:42 on the break clock. We'll call it quits for a second, and we'll be back.
Welcome back. I think torrential downpour is the appropriate word for what is going on outside. It is absolutely chucking it with rain here in Amherst. Fast down 14 to Bowling Green, 44 remaining in the third quarter.
It's going to be tough sledding for the UMass team. It's going to be a tough home day after the game with the rain, but that's why we're here. We're here to cover football, Miles. A lot of people at home for Thanksgiving. I'm not thankful till I'm done calling a football game. And I'm thankful to call a football game. I'm thankful to call a football game with my good friend Miles tonight. Studio's a stretch. This is a box. But
our first game together, despite knowing each other for almost 3 years now. We're 2.5 years now. Snap for Bowling Green. Found the tight end.
Can I just say that was one of the worst passes I've seen on a screen pass that was completed? He threw that so high that Taylor had to jump up to make the catch, and that in turn led to him only getting a yard. I would have been 5.
It's an interesting fake, too. The handoff looked to go to Dendy, but wasn't near Dendy. It was like a fake handoff. Fullback in at the halfback. Handoff to Dendy. He can't get anything either, and that's 3rd and 7 now.
He still plowed forward probably 2 yards where he shouldn't have. But it brings up a 3rd and long for a quarterback. Cannot complete 3rd and longs unless it's a screen pass. So we'll see what's going to happen out of it, but the kicking's going to be difficult in the weather as well.
If you're a UMass perimeter defender, you have to be aware of the screens.
Someone's name who we haven't called a lot today, Marcus White, checking in, the grad student transfer from McNeese, has been UMass defense's best player, potentially, after Timmy Heinz went down. We'll see what happens here.
Adams takes a snap, hands it off, and finding the gap, taking it for the first down. Bowling Green convert on a 3rd and long with a run play.
They're going to say he didn't get there. It looked like he dove forward for the first. It didn't look particularly close.
Markel Porter called. I thought he got at least 2 yards past the first down marker. Refs mark him short. They're going for it on 4th down. UMass bring extra people in. Everyone's in tight. Hand off to Dendy. Gets the first down and tripping, but continues. Touchdown, Bowling Green. on 4th and 1. Dendy finds the gap. And despite a stumble, walks cleanly in the end zone.
That's just power versus weakness. Bowling Green knew exactly what was going to happen when they lined up offensive line against UMass's inferior defensive line. The winner wins, and Bowling Green and Dendy in the situation were able to push UMass off the line and not only get an easy first down, have Dendy stumble his way in for his touchdown of the game and 7th touchdown of the season.
7 touchdowns. 6 touchdowns.
6.
His 6th touchdown of the season in his 5th game for Dendy, who had a meteoric 5 games to end this stretch for Bowling Green. Said it earlier, 93 yards in his first career game, collegiate ball, followed by a 62-yarder. 113 the next game, 110 the game after, and now he has 2 touchdowns. He has 93 rushing yards and 11 receiving yards. He is having an insane game here against UMass.
Well, it's something that UMass have tried to deal with all season is good rushing attacks. We saw it at the very start of the year when Temple came to town. They were able to run the ball very comfortably, but mostly in MAC play, with Western Michigan and Brock Lowry starting off the turn with a rushing performance. And then from there, other than the Buffalo game, it was pretty much off and running 200 yards plus from whatever team they were going up against rushing, including sacks, because sacks count against rushing yards. Bowling Green to continue that stretch for the Minutemen. That's a really chipped up kick. But I guess they know no one's going to return it, so it doesn't matter.
It's another one like that. You have time. Faulkner receives the ball at the 26 line. He breaks 1 tackle. He has an opportunity to break it down. But they just elect to catch it every single time. And it's a coaching decision, and that's the decision that Joe Harris-Emayak has gone for this season. So 41 seconds remaining in the third. UMass now trail 14-35. Grant Jordan ends Hood in motion to the outside. He lines up there. Gibson on the jet motion, receives the sweep, and is tackled before heading to the line of scrimmage.
Gibson wasn't sure whether or not he was going to take or leave that until he started running in motion. It left him kind of trailing behind the line and attack it quickly enough, and it'll end up probably just being a loss of 1 or maybe him getting the line of scrimmage. As this third quarter is winding.
12 seconds on the clock. It's ending down. Jordan takes snap. Has time to throw. To play it all the way across. Finds over the shoulder Donnie Gray. That is another throw by Grant Jordan to get the first down. When he's had time, he has capitalized.
An incredibly impressive lofted throw for Donnie Gray on the sideline. That's going to bring us to the end of the quarter, but Jordan has hit some throws today that he hasn't made for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's going to do it for the third quarter. Just 1 touchdown in that third quarter. Scored by Bowling Green. UMass had opportunities on the drives that they had, but couldn't really string things together. We will be back here on WMUA YouTube for the fourth quarter.
Welcome back to WMUA YouTube for the final football game of the 2025 season. UMass 21 points down to Bowling Green as they look to avoid an 0-12 season in their first season in the MAC. They are on their own 38-yard line, first down and 10, following an impressive throw by Grant Jordan to Donnie Gray. Adkins in motion. Jordan takes the snap, receives it low, able to step into a throw to Gray. He's wrapped up around the 44-yard line for a gain of probably about 8. It'll be less than 8. It'll be about 6.
Grant Jordan completes his 19th pass of this game.
It was in between 8 and 6. It was 7. Second down and 3. Jordan steps back, loads of 10 fires. He's going to need to dive forward for the first. He's hit hard by Ken.
Does get the first down.
It was a good cut by Dowling to know where he needed to go to pick up the first down. But UMass are going to need a chunk play over if they want to come back and level this game. They're not going to be able to just keep moving down the field slowly. Jordan takes snap again low. He's going to fire quickly out to Gibson. Gibson's going to break a tackle and get around for the first down on the spin. Jaquan Gibson quick fired it out, able to make some plays.
Another quick pass to Gibson. His 9th catch of the night. And this feels like in the first game against Temple when he got all of those targets, 13 catches in that game. He has 9 tonight. And there's still a full quarter left to go.
They'll say he stepped out. It's a 2nd and 8. Jordan takes a snap, fires out quickly, incomplete, nearly intercepted. Gibson hadn't turned his head yet. So it's going to be a 3rd down and 2 on the 44-yard line of the Falcons.
Josiah Andrews may have gotten a piece of that, but he seemingly is a little hurt. But he's still on the field.
Something for UMass to target Markovich in motion.
He's messed up.
The handoff to Faulkner, he's going to get stuffed, so the run play won't go. And it's going to lead to another 4th down, so they're going to need to pick up a yard or 2.
But Josiah Andrews, his ankle is not 100% right now. You can physically see he's not putting weight on it, and he's not coming off the field.
We'll see if they're able to ID that, but it's a 4th and 1. You'd think they probably just power forward for the first. Jordan checks out his read, looks at Jaquan and looks over at the referee. Blitz coming in for Bowling Green. Snap taken, hands it off to Griffin. He's going to try to force his way forward, and I would think it's very difficult to say he pulled that off. He did not. So Brandon Hood, not Rocco Griffin, who got the carry, and they're going to say he was short, which will be the 3rd turnover on downs of the day for the Mid.
That's just a tough one. It's one where you have to go for it at this point in the game. But that's one where you call your best short yardage play, and you hope it works, but it did not work here. And Bowling Green.
That'll be the end of the drive. We've got a 2-minute media break, so we'll be back with the resuming of the UMass 14, Bowling Green 35, 12:45 left in the 4th quarter. Bowling Green offense back out there ready to get going. As the break clock is being moved off the field and the Bowling Green offense looks to extend their lead. Hunter Najim, the quarterback, in on the field. Motioning now is Johnson. Fakes the snap. A lot of fake snaps. Finally will take it. Hands the ball off to Petford, and he's brought down. Or Petaway, rather. Gain of 6. A gain of 6 yards for, you said it was Porter?
Yeah, Markel Porter.
Markel Porter, the redshirt freshman. He's been big in the run game today. On the field now is Petaway. Second down and 4. Gives it to Petaway. He's going to break out of the tackle, and he's going to be brought down by Zeron Daniel around the 40-yard line, a little bit closer, maybe the 38-yard line. But Petaway able to pull out and get a couple of yards extra there.
A young running back core that Bowling Green have. Redshirt freshman. Freshman in Petaway. Redshirt freshman. They have 3 essentially freshmen for the future, and Austin Dendy is proved to be a very, very back for this Bowling Green team, and they have 2 very solid young backups to match that.
The handoff from Najim to Petaway. He's going to, again, rumble forward for about 8 yards, just short of down. And they're just going to keep on running the concept because it keeps on working, Miles.
Yeah, 200 yards now on the night for Bowling Green rushing. 216 now with that rush.
So a second down and 2. Najim in the shotgun now, back in the game. But again, very heavy set. Dendy had 3 touchdowns today, 1 receiving. Motioning now is the fullback. Najim takes the snap, gives it to Dendy. Patient tries to bull over Jeremiah McGill. He will, but it'll only be for a gain of 3 in the first down.
He looked left, looked right, and then decided, I'm just going to right through you. And he gets down through it.
And that's all he needs to do as a couple of big players check out, some shiftier players check in. Still probably will be a run play because that's what this team does. It's a team that is, again, head coached by one of the best running back college football history in George. Austin Dendy has a lot to fill in terms of shoes, but he's doing a pretty good job of it right now. Najim takes the snap, gives it to Dendy, fire out to the left side and be brought down by the legs by Malcolm Green. Again, Dendy has a rare blend of patience and power that you usually see patience and speed go well together. The power that Dendy has, he doesn't just want to go through someone. He wants to wait for the right gap, and then if nothing else is there, he will happily go through someone.
Impressed me most about him is, I mentioned it earlier, his drive to continue to move his feet no matter what. It's very impressive, and it's a mentality thing that running backs sometimes just don't have, that need to just keep going. And he had, and he's only 3 yards now away from his third 100-yard rushing game in a row.
And he's just short of that 3 yards on that run. He's stopped by the linebacking duo, or rather safety duo of Zeron Daniel and Jeremiah McGill, able to get downhill again for a 3rd down and 7. And it's 8:46 left in the fourth quarter and counting. So I think we could put our stamp of approval on a Bowling Green win, more likely than not, barring an incredible turn of events here.
It would need to be a turnover
right now.
Probably a touchdown for UMass.
If that happens, game's up in the air. But I don't think the Ethernet cord is going to do that for you, Miles. 3rd down and 7. Hands off to Petaway. He is going to be stopped up by a couple of UMass defenders. And it'll likely lead to a field goal. Rashad Henry was the first able to stand up and make the play there, as there's an injured player out on field. And that'll be good for UMass's clock management, but it will not be good for Bowling Green.
So our first field goal of the game. First time that we get to see Jackson Clither attempt a field goal. He leads the nation in 50-yard field goals. So he is a top kicker.
Tunde Fatukasi, the one that goes down for Bowling Green, and a chance to maybe see junior offensive guard Alexis Sanchez, also known as Chile's top scorer in soccer history. But he's here on the field for Bowling Green's MAC football program. So an athlete's an athlete, Miles. We've got 2:26 left on the break clock. We will come back with the action. 7:57 left in the fourth quarter. 14 for UMass, 35 for Bowling Green. The field goal attempt for Cleather coming through. We're back here on YouTube. Bowling Green 35, UMass 14. The kicking team is out there, and it's Jackson Cleather. One of the best kicks in the country, probably the best kicker in the MAC, with just under 8 minutes left in the game, and in both of these teams' seasons, attempting the field goal. Line is set. Long pause, snap is good, hold is good, the kick is up and through the up. So Bowling Green lead 38-14 in a game that UMass has been decently competitive in. And there's a media timeout now on the field. I would feel very bad for making you guys wait to listen to a little bit longer. So we'll keep it here and talk about the game, the season, life, Miles. Long game, season. Long year, but we're here through it all on WMUA 91.1. This is YouTube. If you want to listen to the official radio broadcast of women's basketball, tune into WMUA 91.1, the radio station. There's a link you could click, and you will hear Zeke Story on the broadcast for very winning Minute Women team. They were able to stomp out Boston College earlier this week. But Miles, down by 24 points to Bowling Green, the closing game of the season. This has been a tumultuous and terrible, let's just cut to the chase, season for this UMass team.
Put up 14 points, which is up there in their career high, season high. Oh, not Buffalo. Outside of Buffalo, season high against a MAC opponent. So it's been somewhat a better game than the games against Ohio, the games against Northern Illinois, Kent State, where it just felt devastating is the correct word, I would say. But it still is the accumulation of just multi-point losses throughout the course of the season. It's a toll. It's a toll on UMass fandom. It's a toll on the players. We will see how it impacts how much they stay once the transfer portal opens up later tonight.
Well, that'll be a very interesting turn of events, and we'll make sure to have you covered all the way. If you haven't tuned into the UMass Football Show on Spotify, I, along with Miles Donato, Zeke Altman, Matt Ford-Wellman, and some other guests from time to time, break down UMass football. And we'll definitely have a episode following the mass exodus during the transfer portal and the incoming swarm of new players that will likely take up the maroon in Amherst, Massachusetts. But a bad season that we will discuss in length at some point after this game. This game's still going. UMass still 24 points away, so still scores from losing their 12th straight game season. And those numbers I gave you earlier in the intro, the 1,508 days since they've won an FBS game here at McGurk. Well, we have a whole lot. So that number will increase by quite a bit following this game. The kick is going to be fielded by either Jaquan Gibson, Samuel Badu, Juwan Price. The kick is up and away. Badu's going to field it, and he is going to take out. He fumbles the football, so maybe that's why they haven't been doing so. Badu's going to get through a couple of guys, get hauled down around the 10-yard line. So, Joe Harris-Simiak, I apologize. You were right about kicks, and I had no business questioning you.
I still question it. It's raining heavy. In the game like this where it's raining heavy, but earlier in the game when it was dry and UMass needed momentum, the constant fair catches is just something that it shows a lack of confidence, is how I would describe it.
Well, that lack of confidence would have had them at the 25-yard line. Now they're at the 10. So Grant Jordan now to take the snap to the right side, one to the left, takes it, loads of time for Jordan. He's fire in the middle of the field, caught by Gibson. He's having a game. Jaquan Gibson around the 34-yard line for the first down.
When Grant Jordan has had time to throw tonight, he has been the best I've seen. He's been able to make consistent passes, 22 completions. I'm relatively sure that's the most he's had in a game. And he's been very good this game.
Steps back, firing, looking for Adkins, but Adkins wasn't tracking on his back shoulder, so that'll be incomplete. But again, a nice throw motion from Jordan, something again I have not really seen from him to this point this year. We've seen more of the scrambling flail version of Grant Jordan. We have seen the calm, composed pocket passer that I didn't know existed, but he's a very good job of that today. And Donnie Gray on the sideline is the one that I would like to point to. Really shows that he does have the touch and accuracy to compete. Snap taken, handoff. Overthrows Adkins on the sideline. So it'll be a 3rd and 10 now.
Grant Jordan on the game, 22 for 33, a 67% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns. It's been one of his better games of the season for Grant Jordan.
What was that completion percentage?
Just dropped to 65% after that incomplete pass.
3rd down and 10. Low snap. Jordan escapes pressure. He's going to get to the outside. He has to throw the ball. He flails firing downfield. Adkins is hit while he tries to catch it, but they're not going to throw a flag, so it'll be a 4th down, and the offense will likely stay out there. You fear you have to, right?
Might as well. There's reason not to at this point in the game, this point in the season.
Well, Keegan's going out, so looks like they will not. The final red flag being waved by Coach Joe Harasimiak and his team as they decide 24 points with 6 minutes left in their final game of the season to punt the ball away.
See if we can get Keegan Andrews another Ray 8 here in the last week.
And that punt will not help as that's going to bounce down at the 40-yard line and stop it from going an extra couple of yards. It's going to bounce back to the 45. So Bowling Green, not even that much of a flip of the field following that punt. A rare miscue from Grant Jordan, or rather Keegan Andrews. As we'll see. The Falcons bring out their offense for presumably one of the last times this. And again, this is a Bowling Green team that does not have a chance to make a bowl game. They're 3-8 to this point. They'd like to make it a nice even 4, and they're a couple of handoffs and knees away from doing so. 6:34 left in the 4th quarter. 38-14 Bowling Green lead. The handoff given to Indy, and he will just keep on powering forward. How is he not down? He's still going. Tripped up at the end by Malcolm Green, but he was in between tacklers for what seemed like 3 minutes. And he breaks free of them all and then gets tripped up by the legs by Malcolm Green. The second time he's made a shoestring tackle to this point.
That rush puts him over 100 yards. 3rd straight game with over 100 yards to end the season for him. That's a special running back there.
Austin Dendy, we'll see what the transfer portal has in store for him. It would be amazing to me if he stayed at Bowling Green. He'd be a Power 5 running back. He could be a very good running back anywhere. As he gives the Dendy again, this time he's wrapped up, and if he makes it out of this one, I'll just stop broadcasting. Because that is 8 defenders that are going to be able to round him up. But much to a lot of people's dismay, he did not continue to run. So I'll still be on the mic, Miles. We'll still both be here on mic next season for this UMass team. It's a 2nd and 11.
Dendy does exit the game now. If you're the coach, you keep giving him the reps here late in the game.
Yeah, I would.
At this point, there's no point in limiting him. There's no games to act for. Let him shine.
Handoff given now to a new face as he's going to bounce off a tackle and get a 1st down. It's Sean Wimberly, the grad student running back, though. A nice appearance for him on senior day.
He's had 3 carries for 13 yards. He basically matched that on that rush.
It was exactly a gain of 13 yards. So 4:22 left in the season for the Minutemen. A 1st down and 10. Najim getting ready to take the snap. And he does. Gives it again, and he's wrapped up by the defensive line. An interesting stat for this Bowling Green team. They only have 1 wide receiver with a catch. And it's Brennan Ridley who had the 1 screen pass that he took 87 yards to the house.
I mean, this is a tight end heavy team when they pass the ball.
But even their tight ends have a combined 4 catches. This is a team with 7 complete passes, 38 points. Their run game and UMass's inability to defend the running game, truly remarkable. Najim gives the handoff again and stacked up by a couple of defensive linemen. After that first rip-off for 13 yards, not much going for Wimberley.
Something that UMass is going to have to look in the transfer portal and when they're rebuilding next year's team is stopping the run, because so many of these MAC teams are built for the run. They want to run the ball, and you can't be the fourth worst team in the country stopping the run. It's just not sustainable in this conference, and so that's something they're going to have to do.
We've seen it hurt the Minutemen in these MAC-tion games: Northern Illinois, Western Michigan, Central Michigan, and now very clearly this game against Bowling Green. The handoff to Wimberley. He's going to get through. The referee gets in his way. He sticks his hand out, fumbles. The ball is in the end zone. Will they say he got in? Who recovered the football? They're going to say this is a UMass recovery on a fumble. So we'll score here for Bowling Green, and UMass will get the ball back. They're going to say he was down before he got it, so it'll just be on the 1.
That was the worst instances of referee interference I've seen in my life. He's gone, runs right into the referee, and basically stops him dead in his tracks, and Darian Craig able to make the tackle. They do call him down. I think it may have been a little bit of a I'm signing into you, you'll be down instead of a fumble. But another running back that this Bowling Green team have that is capitalizing on his carries. He has 37 yards on 4 carries. Wimberley, 9.3 yards per carry as a fourth-string running back getting into the game late.
Well, that's going to be the 2-minute. We'll be back with the rest of the action here on WMUA YouTube. 2 minutes left in the UMass football season. I'm Dylan Shell. I'm here with Miles Donato. Back here after the 2-minute warning. Handoff given. Wimberly going to power up the middle, and he will get it for the touchdown. Bowling Green score. And they continue their rampage. It's 44, soon to be 45-0 to the Falcons. Back here after the 2-minute warning. It just keeps on going as the extra point is up and good. And the Minutemen will get the ball to close their season off. Whether or not it's a spot where they would like to be in, whether or not they continue to play with the ball, they might just kneel the game out and kneel the season out. We will see what this final drive has in store for a tumultuous and terrible season. It's the second time I've used that exact combination of words. I feel like it's accurate, Miles.
Yeah, Dimitri Albrecht back to receive for UMass.
Demarion Albrecht, that is.
My bad on that one.
That was your college football running back, your CFB 25 guy. My guy was either Jackson Paradis or Cookie Desiderio. Desiderio was on the team in spring. He didn't end up playing for the team all year. Jackson Paradis didn't come back after the first season. I never did a CFB 26 save with this team. And it probably would have ended the same way that the actual season did, because I'm not very good at CFB 26. The kick is up and away. Will Albrecht bring it out? No, because it was in there. And Albrecht was also there. But 2 minutes left for Grant Jordan and the Minutemen as Dallas Elliott takes the helmet off to adjust his hair and puts back on. So that meant nothing.
Think they take the knee here?
I don't think so. I think they try to make something out of it. You still got the starting offense out there. But you've got a very heavy set. So it wouldn't surprise me. Up there in the pistol. Give yourself something worth remembering, UMass football. The last drive of their season. Jordan takes the snap. Hands off to Faulkner. He's going to break a couple tackles and get brought down at the 40-yard line. A good scampering run for a first down. Elijah Faulkner, what might have been the longest run of the season.
He had that gap open up, and it just caught him last second. Otherwise, he was gone.
That would have been an interesting way to end the season with a freshman, a true freshman, for a long 75-yard touchdown, but it wasn't meant to be. He got cut down. And with 1:30 left on the 39-yard line, Grant Jordan gets ready to take the snap. Jordan takes the snap, hands it to Faulkner, and this one goes about how you'd expect. All of Bowling Green gets to him quickly. The clock continues to wind down on the 2nd and 12. I think you go one more play, and if you don't get anything out of it, you enter surrender formation. Why not try something like a play here? Why not?
Take a shot.
Take a shot. Doesn't look like they're going to, as you see this very straight-lined formation. Yeah, this is a run in some form. Faulkner, he's going to juke a couple guys, get brought down as 30 seconds and counting go. The players are just about ready. Call it game. 20 seconds. No one walking the field. Interesting decisions here. They're not calling, but they're not closing the game. And now they are. The embraces are starting on the field. UMass fall victim 45-14 on the final game of the season. And what a season it has been here for coverage on WMUA. And how truly bad was this season for the Minutemen? Not counting the incomplete COVID year, Minutemen joined Kent State last season in 2024 as the only team this decade In a season that should have been marked by signature wins against new conference opponents, we saw blowout after blowout after blowout with additional fireworks. A lot is unclear, as it should be going forward after this disaster class of a season, but what is clear is that myself, Miles Donato, Zeke Altman, Matt Ford-Woman, along with a lot of other great people that have been covering football here at WMUA, will continue to do so through next season. As for Jacob Repper and John Ruggiero, their time calling football at the radio station, our great directors, is over. No more UMass football except for the spring game coverage from us until 2026, when we will have the first call back here at McGurk at an unspecified time. What I do know as well is that we will have coverage through the offseason on transfers, on spring practice, and on everything that goes on behind these walls and in these doors of McGurk Alumni Stadium, the Football Performance Center, and everything UMass football. This truly is the home for all things Minutemen sports, and we'd love to continue covering Minutemen football down the line. Again, I'm Dylan Dallum here with Miles Donato, signing off on my fourth and final football game and the final football game here at McGurk Alumni Stadium for the 2025 season. UMass 14, Bowling Green 45. UMass closed the season at 0-12.